Blackness in itself is multifaceted, and blackness in itself it represents so many different countries and places all over the world. But if we're talking about America and being black in America, that also means a lot of different things.
I never thought about it until now, but I guess there kind of is. It's like, if you even think about the word, like, light-skinned women are called fair, where I'm from Nigeria, and usually light-skinned women are called fair. And just the word, the connotation of the word fair used for a light-skinned woman as opposed to a dark-skinned woman, they just sound softer and more delicate. And, you know, dark-skinned women are the ones that are typically considered like the strong, opinionated, loud-mouthed ones. And light-skinned women, they just come off as a little softer and more delicate, I guess.
I agree with that, but I don't think they get compared in terms of like masculinity.
Yeah.
I think it's just like a lesser degree of femininity.
Mm-hmm,
So
that's
it's
what it
like
is.
you have like you said before, how like light-skinned women are perceived to be like more fragile and like more delicate, whereas like dark-skinned women, they're like stronger, but it's not. It's like I don't see it as masculine. I just see it as a different form of femininity.
Do you consider yourself black?
Yes.
What makes you black?
It's my experience, where I come from, my culture. That's a hard question. I guess basic who my parents are. And yeah, I guess my experience maybe, because I remember I walked in and you guys talking about African Americans. I feel like African Americans is like a very different sort of experience than like a black experience.
I definitely agree with what they said. I think even in the media, how like darker skinned women are portrayed, the roles that they give them are more like aggressive. I think there have even been like debates versus like how people perceive light skinned women and how they perceive darker skinned women. Light skinned women are usually treated like better, or they're seen as like prettier. Like if you go on Twitter, people actually like make comments on how like they like light skinned people like that. Do have like a harsher, I guess, connotation if they're darker.
What makes me black, either to myself, what makes me black is the way I was brought up, my heritage, my ancestors, where I came from, my blood. For everybody else, what they might think makes me black might just be the color of my skin.
Like people perceive, I guess, lighter skinned men as being more sensitive, like what is it, Chris Brown types or
Drakes,
Drakes, and dark skinned men are more masculine as well. It's like the same sort of thing.
I think just in general, there's a certain delicacy that comes with being light. Just because you're lighter, people assume you're softer and, you know, like more delicate, whether or not you're a woman or a man. Because I will personally admit that I've considered light-skinned men less manly than dark-skinned men. I have, not that I do, you know. There's a certain thing. Light-skinned guys are like the sensitive ones, while dark-skinned guys are like the aggressive, tough ones. And I don't know, it's just a light. It's just, I don't know, lighter skin. A white guy compared to a black guy, I would still think the white guy was more like spaghetti. Like I think the white guys are like spaghetti. Like they're softer and more delicate, but the black guys, you know, stronger and more aggressive and more firm, more assertive. And yeah.
I also think it's kind of weird though, because like if you look at examples that people use for like both categories for men, it's like for light skin you think like Drake, but then you ask people like dark skin people, they think like Morris Chestnut. And it's like the difference is not only is like he's seen as like, I guess, stronger and more aggressive, he's also buff as fuck.
Okay.
So like at the same time, like who we have as like idols to recognize in each like aspect of the spectrum is kind of like reflective of what we think about them. So it's like you don't really see like, for example, like Chris Brown, he's like ripped, but at the same time he's like a dancer, so you don't really expect him to be getting into fights with people like Morris Chestnut.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, I feel like it goes back to slavery. If you were like a fairer tone or lighter skin, you didn't have to do like some of the things that other people have to do. Like you didn't have to go out into the field. They would keep you in the house. You would be in the kitchen, and you would do like, I guess, like less manlier tasks. So I think that's how it kind of like progressed in society. And now like they just perceive like she said, like lighter skin, more delicate. Like they can do like the lighter task, but like if you're darker, like you're aggressive, like you can fight someone, you can do blah blah blah.
Can you fight someone, Trey?
You see me?
Probably can. You don't know.
It's this dichotomy between being black and being white. Falling right in between that spectrum is like disadvantageous because you can either be taken as a black person or a white person, and if you're dealing with people that are incredibly ignorant, they'll want to place you in a category.
I guess white people trying to act black, is that like a compliment? Is it insulting? Do you think that is it like just...
I have had so much time to think about this, and like I still think about it almost every day because I'm not sure I have an opinion on it yet. But I would say I don't think I too much have a problem with white women, for example, braiding their hair or getting bigger butts or bigger lips. I think the problem I have with it is the media praising them for stuff that we've been doing and, you know, glorifying it when they do it as opposed to when I do it. So, for example, when Zendaya had dreads, you know, Fashion Police shitted on her. Well, not Fashion Police, Juliana Rancic shitted on her.
Like, I feel like she smells like petroleum.
3 years later, Kylie Jenner had dreads, and InStyle was like, Kylie Jenner premieres beautiful dreads, looks stunning. You know, that's my problem. I'm not mad about the fact that Kylie Jenner wears dreads because I think it's a little childish, you know? I feel like there's so much bigger, badder, more horrible things going on in the world right now than Kim Kardashian braiding her fucking hair. My problem is the fact that the media glorifies this stuff when the white people do it and not when the black people do it.
I mean, I don't know what you're implying.
Are you African
Do you
American?
think that stuff ever happens with men?
I don't understand the question of.
Yes, but probably not.
Are you ashamed of being white?
And it's like my
Like Dick Gregory says, white isn't a racist.
regardless of like how you think you feel about it, it's like she can never actually be black. And what I mean by that is like she can dress, she can act, and she can like go to all the black stuff, but it's like she never got that experience of like from birth of being black. And it's like that's a major part of like who you are as a black person.
And you might get away. I may not even make it in the jail. Well, so it's a difference. Okay. It's a big difference.
Well, Rachel, following that, I have a question.
Right.
What does being black mean to you? And why? Why do you want to be black?
Well, I think that, you know, sometimes how we feel is more powerful than how we're born.
Okay.
And
blackness can be defined as philosophical, cultural, biological. You know, there's a lot of different things for a lot of people, and I think you do have to kind of like walk the walk if that's how
it's a very big word that encompasses a lot of different cultures and a lot of different nations and a lot of different ethnicities. While being African American is a specific kind of black, it's the black people that were brought from Africa to America. So to me, like I said, black is like the big, all-encompassing word, while African American is just a subset of being black.
In terms of the Black American experience, I guess the cliches, the stereotypes that have been developed or concocted over time throughout America's racist history has developed these forms and ideals of what we consider quote unquote black, stereotypically like things like eating fried chicken or like eating watermelon, and they like. I feel like, unfortunately, blackness or the Black American experience is so commonly watered down to these very simple things like food. Not even simple, but very, again, one-dimensional things like soul food, and even just hip hop. When really, the Black American experience is so much more than that. It's all a cultural, it's all those things together.